welcome back everyone, welcome back to another week, another edition of the WTL 2023 Kung Fu Cup Winter Round number 6. I'm of course your Slave VIP, and with me I'm joined by the lovely, the beautiful people in the chat, and by all of these amazing players, exclamation mark B. Wait, hold on, I gotta... exclamation mark B in the chat if you wish to have a look at the rank yourselves. We have a lot of amazing players tonight, a lot of amazing matches in the first round, but we have something to draw our attention. Drew everyone's attention, and I don't blame them because it's a ZVT, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Alkione, we have the German Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Limbo. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Terran player representing KranKy Z Gaming. It is Oliveira. Also, yes, I see in the chat, live or from replays? Oh, yes, the cast is live, but I'm from a replay. Yes. Can confirm, Bobby, can confirm. I'm shaking, man. But yeah, this is a banger of a match already here. We have one of the best Zerg players in all of Europa, and we have one of the best Terrans in the entire world, the reigning world champion, facing off here and now. And I mentioned this before, but I love that Oliveira is active again. I think I mentioned this last night when we were casting WTL World Team League, how Oliveira had kind of dropped off a little bit. You know, he wasn't as active as he once was, especially after his Katowice run. In the months leading after that, you know, he was a little bit more inactive, but in the months leading up to WCS Masters Winter, Oliveira is in shape. He's in form once again, and I am here for it. I'm ready for it. Shows what she got. So far, racks expand. He's not going for the low ground 2 racks, which Beyond, of course, is known for, and Oliveira does do from time to time. But here in game 1, we're calming things down. Standard opener. Hatch got spool as well out of Lambo. We're easing ourselves into this. Again, it's going to be a long night of KFC, so I hope you all have your chicken ready. Whether it's Korean fried chicken or Kentucky fried chicken, make sure you're on brand with the night of KFC, with the night of StarCraft, and I wish I could do the same. Very tempted. Very tempted. As we're going to be going for a 3cc build, so again, very economic out of Oliveira. That's a 3rd cc in the main base, so before starport, so very economic indeed. This should be leading into eventually a starport, could be into Banshee play as well. We'll keep an eye on the add-ons, we'll see kind of where they're swapped and how they are made. Back at home, we do have Lambo just chilling, could be droning on up, taking his own 3rd base on time, on location. Reaper rotates around and does confirm the location of said 3rd as well. So Oliveira is fully aware as to what is going on. Ducklings stream on a day that ends in Y? Unprecedented. Shaking my head. Always, Matty, always. Always Ducklings stream. Every day, Matty, every day. Hopefully we get, you know, I think I said this before, I'm looking forward to our break in New Year's. We usually take New Year's off. Usually. New Year's is off for us. That's when that's when I can finally rest. That's when my watch has ended. New Year's, baby, New Year's, yeah. And actually a really interesting opener. This is looking like, okay, so we do have an add-on swap here for the Tech Lab on the starport, which is interesting. This would typically lead into Banshee play, but we have a Viking first out of Oliveira. So Oliveira is mixing things up here. With the Viking, he can help, of course, shut down these Overlords. There are 2 of them. Sorry, there's 1 of them here on the right-hand side, poised to dive into the main. From here, we're going into a medevac, actually. Is this going to be a pseudo Hellbat push? Are we going to be seeing an armory thrown down as well? This is very odd out of Oliveira. You do love to see it. Again, he's kind of faking out Banshees. He's faking out BC as well by going Viking first, by clearing out all these Overlords. And with all these Hellions, I mean, I'm feeling an armory. That would make the most sense given the situation. No, never mind. We're just going for a straight up Hellbat drop, okay? Or Hellion drop even. Let's go. And this Viking is clearing a path here for the Hellions as well as we're moving over towards the right-hand side. It looks like, oh, can we get one more? We can! A second Overlord goes down, but we have 2 more in position. Lambo is getting a 4th base. He's saturated on 3 bases. He's working towards Ling Bane. Very standard play out of Lambo. He's going for a lair. As he works towards his lair, he throws down his Baliness for bailing speed. Here we go. We have Hellions on the left-hand side. We have the Hellion jump going in towards the right. Lings, they do catch wind. And the Lings, they are headed towards the main base. So good Overlord positioning here from Lambo. He's aware. He keeps up. Viking looking for a 3rd Overlord kill. And we will get it, by the way. Oh my god. This Viking is doing its best Void Ray impression. Gee, killing 3 Overlords. Supply blocking Lambo. The Hellion drop didn't really come to fruition. We saw that Lambo was able to keep up and the Hellions were kept at bay. Behind this, we're getting our 3rd CC up and running. So even though the Hellion drop didn't do any damage, it didn't need to because Oliveira was going for an economic opener anyway. So this doesn't really set Oliveira behind, and he still keeps everything alive. The Hellions, the Banshees, it's all still up and running, so this is still fine for Oliveira. He gets eyes on the 4th base location. He's aware that Lambo is expanding over on the right-hand side. And once again, he tries to slip in with that drop. Lambo has eyes on this. He has Lings, and even a Bailing in position. He should be able to keep up, and he does collapse on those Hellions. 1 Hellion goes down. Oof. For 5 drones. Oh my god. Oh my damn. That was 5 words. Jesus. And we're getting a couple more drones here at the 4th base as well. The Hellions doing a surprising amount of damage. 5, 6 workers going down. Very nice here. Unfortunately, the medevac did fall. If it wasn't for the medevac, I would say that this is a really good moment for Oliveira. 7 drones. I mean, pretty damn good overall. But yeah, alas, we do have to back things up here as we take a moment to kind of take stock at where Oliveira is at. Something that's really interesting, as Oliveira is just saturated on 3 bases, moving out with his tank push, is that Lambo's been very tech heavy. He's run up to 4 bases, up to 83 workers, which is fine, but immediately he went 1-1 into a Hydra Den as well. Thankfully for Lambo, Oliveira is teching. He's working up towards additional gases, a 2nd factory, and that is a 4th CC on the way. So Oliveira, he's working on a later game. He's pushing onto creep, yes, but this is the most committed push from Oliveira. He's just clearing up creep, which means Lambo is getting away with this tech. He's getting away with, you know, working towards Hydras, towards Hive tech as well. Lambo's looking pretty comfortable. Tumors are going to be going down. Oliveira rotates around as well. Again, just clearing up as much creep as they can. We have another double jump moving out towards the right-hand side. I'm really curious. It looks like Oliveira is going to be expanding over towards the left instead. He's not mining through those middle patches yet. Not yet, but I'm sure we're getting there. Oh, the Queen! Oh! No, the Lambo! You may be thinking, oh, was there like a widow mine or something? No, that was a manual detonation. Lambo may be a little bit nervous, maybe a little bit jittery, but he did manually detonate all of his Bailings. I've been there before. If you're a Zerg player in the chat, I'm sure you can relate. Fun fact: after the 2nd time that happened in like a big ladder game, like in a macro game, after that I unbound it. I was I unbound manual detonation. I was like, nope. Never doing that again. That's, yeah, 1 too many times for me, Bobby. So yeah, kind of a rough moment here. I mean, we're in the 1st round of the tournament, so mistakes can happen at times. As Lambo is just going to be forcing the drop off of creep. Oliveira going to be backing off. He's maxed out himself. He's got a 4th base behind this. Now, what's important again, throughout this entire game, outside of the Hellions, Oliveira, he hasn't really been committing too hard to these pushes. He's been conserving his army. Now he's maxed out, a 200 supply with his tanks. He's cleaning up a lot of this creep. And here we go. He's going to be hitting a timing here with +2. +2 about to kick in a couple of seconds. The tanks are getting sieged. That's a lot of tanks. Oh my god. That's a lot of tanks. And do we have enough Bailings here set up? Do we have enough to break this entrenched position? At the same time, a Ling Bane run by does take down the 4th. This is forcing Oliveira's hand. Ling Bane crashing into the natural base. Oliveira losing his 4th, losing 15 SCVs. But he's being forced all in. And can Lambo stop the all in? Uh-oh. Oliveira, there's no turning back, there's no turning around. We do have a massive surround being set up here. We're coming in from 2 angles, but there are so many tanks, and they tank so many shots. So many of those Banelings go down. Yeah, the tank positioning is just too strong. Oliveira, he can keep on pushing. At the same time, his third base is going down. The Ling Bane getting out of control. Oliveira, he may be losing everything back at home, but again, he's still up in army supply. We have more Banelings being morphed in. Lambo just trying to build up his army. Trying to buy some time. He's coming in. Does come in, and the Banelings, they crash into another 2 tanks. 3 tanks go down. Only 1 tank is left. Oliveira, he's running out of steam. He's running out of army, but he just keeps on pushing. He dives on top of the Hydras. The boys are being pulled. The tanks are coming up. GG gets called, and Oliveira, he has too much. He takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG. Very well played. Oliveira just snowballing out of control towards the end. Lambo did some great counter damage. Don't get me wrong. He sent out a lot of Ling Bane across the map. He killed the 4th straight up. He didn't even kill the middle line. He killed the 4th base, killed the middle line, annihilated the middle line at the 3rd base as well. That's all great. That's all good. But that's all supply that Lambo didn't have back at home to defend. And he forced Oliveira to go all in. He forced that commitment out of our Terran player. And Lambo, he could not sleep in the bed that he made. He couldn't deal with the outcome of his actions there, as Oliveira, he just sent it back. He just sent it all the way. And he just had too much. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, we're getting ready for game number 2. Alright, getting ready for it. As I'm just gonna quickly tweet, Pappy, the tweet. Oh, wait, there we go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Radisson Station, we have the German Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion, the Red Zerg, down in the series, but looking to fight back. It is Lambo. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Terran player representing KranKy Z Gaming, DKZ, leading the series 1-0. It is Oliveira. Here we go. And I am a little bit shocked. This is the first time in like 2 weeks, unironically, the first time in 2 weeks, where we find ourselves on Radisson Station in a format that allows vetoes. We only ever see Radisson Station typically in WTL, in World Team League, where there are no vetoes allowed. So it's loser's pick and you can pick whatever you want. But this made it through. This map did make it through, and I'm shocked. I'm a little bit in shock, a little bit in awe. Lambo, show us what you got. Lambo is opening up Gasless. I mentioned this before when casting Dark a couple of days ago on Golden Aura. There are certain maps where you can be giga greedy. This is one of them. Radisson Station, it's all about how greedy can you be, and Lambo, he's playing Gasless. He went hatch, pool into hatchery, into this 3rd base. He's just mining through those patches. And the reason why you want to be and you need to be as greedy as possible, because you can get away with it. Because there's no Reaper Cliff coming into the main, coming into the natural. There's a pocket base which is safe. It's walled off by minerals, by a double line of minerals and a line of rocks as well. So you are safe and sound here back at home. There isn't really too much of anything to be concerned about. You can defend with purely queens in the early game, and there's no need to rush into link speed, because what's link speed going to give you? You yourself can't really be aggressive across the map. So if you're ever on this map, typically it's all about cutting as many corners as possible. And typically, I would favor the player that benefits a lot more from turtling up and defending. You know, on this map, Protoss players can get away with Skytoss. We've seen Protoss players go Skytoss against Terran, against Zerg. Likewise, Terran players can also try and go mech, right? They can wall off here on 4 bases. They can just make it happen. I'm curious what Oliveira's plan is going to be. Likewise, I'm curious how Lambo plans on punishing the economy and the greed of Oliveira. So far, we do have a 1-1-1. Interesting. So Oliveira is actually going to be aggressive. Quite aggressive. He's doing the polar opposite of what you should do on this map, which also works. The last time we saw Cyril on this map, for example, he got all in and just died. I think it was Cyril versus Wayne, if I'm not mistaken, in WTL, where you can go for a Nidus all in. So likewise, Oliveira, he's going for a 1-1-1. Tank first by, oh my god! Rushing into a tank, no add-on swap, by the way. He's going to be setting up for a tank drop. And he can head towards the pocket base, he can head towards the natural, you can wedge your tank behind the mineral line and actually get it within range of the mineral line as well. This tank positioning is actually really dirty, so I wonder if that's his plan. Meanwhile, Lambo, because he opened up gases, now he takes his gases and he's going straight roaches. He's not going Ling Bane, he's going Roach Raptor. Okay. Here we go. So again, I love this from Oliveira because this is a really good way to punish. Really good way to punish greed and a really good way to make use of this map. But this also means that if Oliveira's initial opener here doesn't do a lot of damage, then it's not going to be worth it. And he will at least kill the Overlord. He doesn't reveal the tank. Specifically, he was dropping the Marines, was keeping that tank alive, and Lambo does get supply blocked. Supply blocked here while he has nothing but roach production. He actually can't make anything. He's got 2 more Overlords on the way. Lambo, all he has to defend is Queens and Lings. And here we go. There's that tank spot that we were talking about. Again, if you do wedge your tank here between the gases, you can hit the mineral line. And I believe, oh, yep, we can hit it, yeah. We do have good target firing on the Medivac. But the Queens are exposed, they cannot transfuse, and will they go down? It looks like they will barely survive. We want the Queens, but the Queens will stand strong. And they don't kill the tank, but this is a disastrous start for Oliveira. Looking at the Unisol stab here, he did get 2 drones, that is true. He's back, oh, it's not over. He is back with vengeance with a 2nd tank. Once again, shelling away those Queens. They cannot transfuse, not anymore. Queen goes down. First Queen, 2nd Queen, 3rd Queen as well. Biles, they will connect. But a much better trade this time from Oliveira. He may not have killed too many workers, but he denied a lot of mining time. Saves one of those tanks, and he killed how many Queens? 4 Queens. 4 Queens, a Ravager, 5 workers. Much better. I was about to say, we were about to get into the fact that, like, yo, Lambo, he'd gotten away with, like, going up to 3 bases. He's got a 4th on the way. He's been droning. And for him not to sustain too many losses, like, that was brutal. But thankfully for Oliveira, he was able to come back in with the 2nd drop. He redeemed himself a little bit more. And now he's working on the 3rd CC. Not just that, he's double expanding. We have a 4th CC on the way. And we have additional Raxes. It is not going to be mech. We have seen Oliveira play mech before. But that is not the case this time. It is going bio. Now, was that drop enough? That's the question. I don't think it was. We need to keep being active. Like, there's still, I feel like there's still a lot of pressure on Oliveira to keep being active and to keep moving out, keep looking to punish the economy, cripple the economy, get worker kills, get queen kills. We need to go just because of the delayed 3rd CC. Like, this is a much later 3rd than we're used to. If we had gone for a greedy opener, then I would say the inverse. I'd say the opposite here, where Lambo has to be the one looking to deal some damage. We have a Spire on the way. I do think there's a lot of potential in mutas on this map. Once again, we are abusing this position, or making use of this position. And as we distract Lambo, in come some Liberators in towards the pocket base and the main as well. Lambo, can he keep up? So far, oh, not so much. 3 workers go down to the pocket base. We do have the main also under siege. At the same time, here comes the drop. Oliveira pushing into the pocket. Pushing into the natural. We'll be losing a tank to those biles, but 8 drones go down. The Liberators do shuffle around. 10 workers even, and we drop towards the 4th, and Limba's being pulled apart. He's struggling to keep up. He's really struggling here. 13, 14 workers go down. Ay, ay, ay. And yeah, Lambo, he's stuck redroning. He does have a couple of mutas on the way. They will help deal with the Liberator as we deny more mining. Another drone. Another drone goes down. Oliveira is still very active with this drop, getting tumors. Getting whatever he can. Finally, the libs will go down. Looking at the vision here as Oliveira's seen the Spire. He has seen the Spire. He knows. He even spots the mutas as they pop as well. And what do we have at home to defend? We have turrets on the way. We have, of course, bio, not mech. So plenty of anti-air. And Lambo, he's got a lot of recovering to do. He's redroning as we speak. He's back up to 80 workers. That is true. So you may be thinking about, oh, he's redroned. Like, he's fine now, right? In a way, yes, he's fine economically now, but that has impacted his army. That means his army is lacking. He's still with Roach Ravager. You can see that he's trying to pivot away from Roach Ravager. We've got +2 melee on the way, so he wants to get into Ling Bane. And because he's investing in these upgrades, because he's investing in Bailing speed, this is all gas being spent on tech, which means that the muta count isn't actually that high. Yes, we have the mutas, but we have 9 mutas. This is enough to harass, basically. It's just a harassing force. We're not really committing to mass muta. It's only to harass, and can we even get any value here? Because the turrets are done. We have Marines in position. You can see even a marauding force here on the right hand side in the pocket base. Like Oliveira, he's looking for those mutas. He wants to shut them down. Scan into the main reveals no additional tech. Lair still not done. Sorry, Hive still not done. Infestation bits on the way. Mutas come in. They get one SCV. And we can see that Oliveira is now turtling. He may not be playing mech, but basically, this is the way of TVZ. If you do end up losing map control, if you end up losing your drops, which did of course happen, Lambert did hold, Oliveira, he's just taking a very strong defensive position here. Turrets, sensor towers, tanks, we're just turtling up on 4 bases, and now we have a 5th CC on the way. Oliveira, he should be turtling until he maxes out. Lambo is maxed, Oliveira is still on the way. He's incorporating Thors, Widow Mines, Drilling Claws just finished up, 2/2s on the way. Oliveira is being active at least with a drop. As Lambo is trying to double expand, triple expand even, taking the gold base and 2 bases on the right hand side as well. Oh, we can see Oliveira can't really do much about it, not yet. Lambo going to be moving on out. Trying to dive on this army. And Oliveira, he's not quite set up for this. Thankfully, very wide open and 0 creep here. This is not where Lambo wants to fight. 2-2 just now finishing for both players. 3-3 on the horizon. Now we are up to 13 meters, so we did invest a little bit more heavily into them. The rocks are still standing strong. The tank's getting within range. And the mines! Oh, Widowmine's going to be going off on the Lings. The Bane is a crash on forward, but that's it with the Ling Bane. Bane does get cleaned up, and now Oliveira, he can keep on pushing. Now, he cannot threaten these bases on the right-hand side. They're just too far away, but he can threaten the goal. As a scan does reveal it. Again, this gold base and all this creep going to be buying a lot of time here for Lambo, as he is going for a bit of a muted counterattack here. We have reinforcements though. Yeah, they're in position. More turrets being thrown down. We can see Oliveira rotating over towards that Zonaga, towards the gold. Ooh, big mine shot going off as well. And Oliveira, oh, we have to be very careful with those meters. They're very fragile. As Lambo tries to come in from multiple angles. The Banelings, they more or less crash onto the Thor. Not the best connections there from Lambo. Yeah, the Banelings are trickling on in. The rocks are being knocked down, and Oliveira, he can keep on pushing. There's not enough Ling Bane to stop him. Uh-oh. There are 2 Banelings. 2 Banelings left with the army, and that is not enough. We need more splash damage. If we don't have Banelings, we need Infestors or anything else. There it is, 17 Banelings on the way. There are those Infestors that we were talking about. 2 Infestors in production as well. And Oliveira will get on top of this hatchery. Here comes Lambo, though. Oliveira's on 5 bases, also on 80 workers. Lambo just trying to hold on to this position. Banelings have been remade. Even gets a medevac as well. How many mines do we have? We actually don't have that many Widow mines, which is a little bit concerning. We don't have that much splash damage. But the hatchery will go down nonetheless. Meanwhile, Lambo trying to set up for a flank. Trying to come in from behind. As he has been spotted. He's going to be zoned away. Oof. Once again, Baneling's caught off creep. We can't allow that to happen. Now, Lambo does have some Infestors. He's looking for those Fungals. Here we go. The Bio Army does turn back around. Decent Fungals here. The Banelings, they roll in. But the spread is so good. Oh my god. The pre-split out of Oliveira. A little bit too difficult to push into, but we have reinforcements. Oh, the Banelings. Do not quite connect. As Oliveira keeps on pushing. Can't stop. He will not stop. He does have to respect the creep, though. And yeah, by diving too far into creep, we do catch a Thor. Oh my god. We were going to catch a Thor. But yeah, this is not the best fight here from Oliveira. He's going to be losing too much to Lynx. They're snowballing out of control. Oliveira, he has to retreat. Again, just went too far onto creep. Things snowballed a little too quickly. Decent mine connections. Good SimCity here as well. And now it's going to be Lambo's turn to make sure he doesn't overextend. He's going to back off from here. 3-3 is done. We have an Ultra Cavern on the way. Now finishing up. I believe we still don't have Kindness. No, we do have Kindness Plating and Ultra Speed. We're ready for it. Oliveira going to be scanning. He gets eyes on some of these other fresh mining bases. Gold is being retaken. Likewise, Oliveira expanding towards the top left. Now again, because there's no creep out here, Oliveira can still actually engage. Just have to be careful. Some of the mutas are being caught out. Banelings weren't quite with the main army either. Yeah, like, it's a really interesting dynamic because the center of the map here is so open, but yet also so large as well. Even though Lambo has momentum, even though he was maxed out for the past, like, 20 seconds or so, like, because of the lack of crease shred, because of the damage that Oliveira was dealing earlier, like, he's still safe at home. Up! Oh, as I say that, a massive fungal! A massive connection on the army, on the medevacs as well. Oh, the Biles will connect. So many medevacs go down, and that may just be it. That may be too much. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, as Oliveira, he's lost control of the center of the map, and Lambo, he can break through. GG gets called. And Lambo will take game number 2, tying up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Oliveira, he was stabilizing. He was coming back in that game. But alas, got caught out in the open, got caught by those fungals, and then very quickly, things escalated out of control. GG, Lambo does fight back. When it comes to Oliveira's playstyle here on this map, I did like it overall. The opener was interesting to me. Because of the opener, Oliveira, he put a lot of pressure on himself to do damage. Like, usually we have the Terran player, or Oliveira in this case, would have been more greedy and more economic, and then there would have been more pressure on Lambo to be dealing damage instead. But no, we had like the inverse there, where like Oliveira was the one who had to kill workers and kill queens, and yeah, it was a really interesting dynamic. I understand the logic. Remember, there's that really strong position behind the natural where you can set up your tanks and you can hit the mineral line. And Oliveira was able to make use of that a little bit, but I don't think he really got the damage that he was hoping for. And because of that, he didn't quite get a lot of momentum in the early game, the momentum that he needed. Things, of course, did settle and stabilize, but because of the early game, like, Oliveira, he was fighting for control of the center of the map. He was never able to really threaten the other side, right? The mining bases of Lambo. That's what's important. There was no drop play afterwards. It was just these big pushes from Oliveira. And Lambo, he was able to get away with an uncontested economy, which is something you don't get to see too often. And again, I do think a lot of that did come down to the map. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner, tying up the series 1-1. We have representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Chinese Terran player, the reigning world champion, representing KranKy Gaming. It is Oliveira. And I feel like on a map like Oceanborn, Oliveira is going to be feeling a lot more comfortable. It can be far more aggressive on this map, can be more in the face of Lambo as well. And likewise, we'll see if Lambo can keep up with the aggression of Oliveira. See if he can keep up with it. As for now, standard openers. Standard openers map. What's this in the chat? I would get with Lambo, but I would be thinking of Oliveira. Oh. Ay. It's hard. It's not hard not to think about Oliveira. He's so wholesome, Bob. He's so wholesome. Very easy player to get behind. Ay. Just a normal man. Normal human being. Just doing what he can. Just trying to survive. Let's go. As again, Lambo going for a hatch gas pull. Oliveira, we'll keep our eyes on his opener as well. Rax Expand. If you remember last game, he went for a 1-1-1 as a follow-up into a Hellion drop. Sorry, into a tank drop. But of course, that was very map specific. Pretty sure that tank drop opener would not, or we wouldn't really see that on a map like Oceanborn. More on Radisson Station. And this is where we get to talk about the maps a little bit here, as we do have a decent 3-base setup. There we go, Lambo taking his triangular third, a very solid setup here on 3 bases. And the fourth is where things get a little bit more interesting, where it's actually quite difficult to take a 4th base on this map. We've casted many a ZVT on Oceanborn. I've seen a lot of Dark on Oceanborn, and maybe it's just a Dark thing, but if you remember, I think it was Dark versus Beyond a couple of days ago in ESL Open Cup Asia. The finals of ESL Open Cup Asia, where Dark, he just could not take a 4th. Just could not take a 4th base for like 15 minutes. We've seen that against Clem, against Gumiho, like specifically on this map, it is quite difficult to hold on to it, especially if the Terran player is very aggressive, if they set up on their own 4 bases. We'll see if Oliveira is one to do the same as, once again, a 1-1-1. Mine drop? Wait, what? Wait, what is happening right now? I need to keep my eye on Oliveira. So we have a 1-1-1 opener. So once again, Oliveira, he's putting a lot of pressure on himself to get damage done. He is delaying his 3rd TC in favor of this starport. He goes for a Widow Mine first into Tech Lab. This isn't lined up for an add-on swap, so it's going to be a drop. But it's a Tech Lab, not a second Widow Mine, so it's not a mine drop. Is it another tank drop? It is. Okay. Alright. So remember like a minute ago when I was like, yeah, we're not gonna see another tank drop. That's like specific to Radisson Station. I stand by that statement, by the way. I do think that is like a better build and a better opener on Radisson Station. Okay, and we're going for a very interesting variation here. This is the beginning of a 2-base all-in, by the way. So we're going for our initial drop, and this is going to be hunting down Overlords. We don't just delay the 3rd and get our starport. We throw down 2 more Raxes as well, without a 3rd CC. So this screams 2-base all-in. We can still take a 3rd base after this, but it's going to be very delayed. Like, this is a very committed build here out of Oliveira. The aggression is real. Meanwhile, the drop moves out once again, trying to hunt down additional Overlords. He got one. One Overlord did go down. And Oliveira is going to be rotating around as well. And again, this isn't quite a tank drop. This is just a setup for a massive push. Stim halfway done. Again, we're looking for more stray overlords. This does feel very Beyond. Like, Beyond recently has been very aggressive as well. Very all in. Fourth base is being taken. Marines are in position. But we can see the Queens and Lings aren't too far behind. And Lambo should be able to hold on. But, oh, good target firing. Due force a cancel on the fourth. Drop does get the hell out of there. Lambo working towards Burrow. I love it. We do have a Baneling Nest. There it is. Baneling Speed is on the way. With Burrow, we can set up Baneling Mines. And against an all-in, Baneling Mines are king. Not just because of the potential for damage, but also because if you're 2-base all-in, you don't have a lot of scans. You're muling very hard. And here we go. Here comes a push. Now, Lambo, he sees that there is no third. And for now, this is, I mean, you know, maybe the third base is about to be landed. He's trying to check, trying to figure out what's going on. He does see the push. Does see the army moving out. Burrow is done. Banelings are out. Show us the mines. Show us, papi. Now, there's the third CC. Very late third. This push needs to get damaged. This isn't like, oh, he's just pressuring and we can just transition out. No. We need to... not even canceling the fourth. The fourth is not enough. We need to do more than that. So far, some good tank shots here on the Ling Bane. Fourth base is going to be cancelled. That's fine, but we need to keep going. Because Lambo, he's double expanding. He's expanding towards the center. Good Stim, he does get one of the Queens. Does get two. Two Queens do go down. A good trade there from Oliveira as he's just edging on closer towards that third. Again, really good tank positioning here. Covering that ramp, covering the high ground. At the same time, a drop on the right-hand side, and we do see Lambo getting ready for a full surround. Uh-oh. The surround is upon us. And Marines getting a little bit too ambitious there. We have... Oh, they're stuck! No! Yeah, and Lambo... Oh, he takes out the medevac, takes out more Marines. The drop here on the right-hand side is going to be denying the fourth base, but I'm really concerned about this army. As Lambo, he collapses in this position, and he will clean this up. Good tank shots, good Marine positioning as well, and the Marines will at least escape. But 3 tanks will go down. No. This... there's lava there for a reason. That was a kill, not a cancel. That's 300 minerals down the drain. Oliveira, he's getting damage done. Kills the fourth. Picks up, gets the hell out of there. And Lambo has been hurting. And we mentioned this before, it is quite difficult to actually establish a fourth base on this map, but we've seen Lambo denied twice, but he's double expanding. Again, very important to double expand to make sure that one of them gets up and running. Speaking of, another double jump moving out towards the left-hand side. Third base is being taken. Has Oliveira done enough damage? I want to say yes. Especially because Lambo is still on 3-base saturation. He's still on less than 60 workers. Because he's been making nothing but Ling Bane to make sure he doesn't die. And here we go. We have a double drop towards the south, double drop towards the north. The goal, deny these bases, deny those hatcheries. Up! Good target firing on the Banelings. Not a single Marine went down. Very nicely done here by Oliveira. At the same time, the drop has been spotted. You see Lambo rotating around. Now, even though Lambo has been struggling to take a fourth, he has been focusing on his creep. And his creep in the center of the map, not looking too bad. The Ling Bane is keeping up. We have Liberators moving out. Again, Oliveira still looking to deny these hatcheries. Up! Bane's going to be rolling it in. Not the best connections from Lambo. Tanks push on forward as well. Oliveira, he's committing. Meanwhile, we drop into the natural, but there are Queens here. Yeah, and the Marines, they have to be left behind. There was no saving them. A rough moment there for Oliveira. Once again, he's pushing on the left. And it looks like he is going to get a base. This hatchery is going to be going down. At the same time, we do have a Ling counterattack into the mineral line. Oh, a little bit hesitant there, though. Doesn't get any SCVs. A lot of Lings go down. The tank survives as well. Meanwhile, Oliveira, he does get a base. Liberator's going ham in the main, and can Oliveira deny the fourth once again? Oh, there's an Infestor. Up, the Fungal! The Fungal, Bobby! Grazes the army. Still save what we can. Again, really good tank position here on the left-hand side, and we are going to trade a little bit better here for Oliveira. But Lambo gets a fourth. It's not fully operational, but he does get it. It's alive. It took some hits, but it's still good. We'll see if he can get it up and running. Behind this, we have a 4CC on the way. Oliveira, he's now rotating his main army towards the right-hand side. He now has his target. Meanwhile, no creep here on the left. Oliveira is still keeping the attention of Lambo here. Good target firing on the Baneling. As Oliveira is about to be cleaned up. Now we focus on left. Is he looking? Up! He is! Pungo does connect with the army. Tanks are being dropped in, and one tank goes down, the second tank as well. And a third tank, Oliveira being a little bit too wasteful, very wasteful here on towards the right-hand side. Marines are doing what they can. Another big Fungal. These Fungals, they've been the MVPs, to be honest. The Fungal growths actually locked down the tanks and the medevacs. They couldn't be picked up. But Oliveira still has momentum going his way, and these Infestors, they're out of energy. Vipers have arrived. Hive is done. Lambo still on 60 workers. But Oliveira, he wants this base. He's not turning back without it. It's like, mate, we're on Oceanborn. You have a fourth base. That should be dead. Let me fix that for you. Let me... You see Lambo getting ready for a big surround here on this army. How good are the mine shots gonna be? Oh my god. Pretty good mine shots overall. But yeah, we will collapse on this tank. The tank will go down. The Marines will be cleaned up as well. Oh, the Queen is gonna fall. She barely do keep some of these other Queens alive. And oh, Lambo, he holds. Does hold on to his bases. He now has a pretty robust army. He didn't have any Fungals for this fight because we mentioned before that he had spent his energy, but oh my god, because we're getting more drones. But now he does have enough energy once again. The Infestors, they have rested, they've recuperated, they have Fungals available. But Oliveira still has a lot of momentum going his way. He's still up in army supply, he's up in workers, he has a fourth. Lambo trying to get a fifth. He's pushing in. Ooh, massive mine connection. GG gets called. It's just too much. Lambo did not have an economy to sustain himself. And Oliveira will take the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. And that entire game, Lambo, he was fighting to actually get a fourth. He finally got a fourth up and running towards the end. But as we were pointing out, he never had more than 60 workers. He was stuck on a very low drone count. And... yeah, he just wasn't trading efficiently enough to really afford a lower worker count. He needed a fourth and a fifth base much faster, but he was successfully contained for too long. And Oliveira got out of control. Remember at the end there, Oliveira had 70 workers against like the 58 of Lambo. It was crazy. Oliveira could keep pushing, Lambo could not. And with that, Oliveira will advance on in the tournament. And we need to take a moment here to actually catch up with everything that's been going on. Oh, we know. There's a lot to go over. Let me just quickly switch regions. Let me quickly hop regions here to make sure that we aren't left behind. Don't leave us behind. Beautiful. As you can already see what our next series is going to be. You can see it on the screen, but we'll get there. We'll get there. as we hop over, and from the top, we have SOS who took down Honmono 2-1. Yo, took down Honmono 2-1. Shout out to Honmono taking a game off of SOS. Very impressive. Muy impresivo, papi. As we have SOS versus Clem. Meanwhile, Cyan 2-0'd Mixu. I know that Cyan has been on fire recently. I was hoping for a more back and forth. My condolences to Mixu, but Cyan does end up taking him down 2-0. Likewise, Dark 2-0'd Rewhite. Likewise, no, Rewhite has been looking good, especially in PvP. But Rewhite did go down to Dark. That's our next series, Dark versus Oliveira. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Skilless taking... Oh my god. Skilless 2-0'd Gumiho. That was not a Wait. Wait, am I living in the upside down? Like, what's what world are we living in? What just happened? Two big upsets. Skilless 2-0'd Gumiho. Gumiho, of course, recently joining Cloud9. Gumiho on a new team. Big shout out to Gumiho, by the way. It's all over Twitter. He gets 2-0'd by Skilless. Very impressed by Skilless. At the same time, Coffee pops off. Coffee 2-0's Wayne. He 2-0's Wayne as well, so big names already dropping here in the first round. My condolences to Wayne, my condolences to Gumiho, as they both go down in the first round. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Cure versus Estrella, still mid-series. Hoping to go to the ace match. Creator is waiting for the winner of that series, and can we... Yeah, we'll scroll down a little bit further here. As we have Hero getting his revenge, by the way. Hero recently was beaten by Firefly. Firefly popped off. He beat Hero. I think it was in another weekly tournament. It wasn't KungFu Cup. It was maybe KSL. Maybe another event. Maybe it was KungFu Cup, actually. But Firefly did recently beat Hero, so Hero gets his revenge. Meanwhile, oh my, Spirit. The upsets, they continue. Spirit, he didn't just beat Nightmare. He 2-0'd Nightmare. Very impressive stuff here by Spirit, advancing on to face off against Hero. Meanwhile, we have Bjorn taking down Maxed. Makes sense, you know. Again, Bjorn, he is the favorite player there. Hold on, I'll zoom in. Ah, beautiful, look at that. Bjorn did 2-0 Maxed. Classic 2-0'd Rex. These are results to be expected. Bjorn versus Classic in the next round. We have Max Pax 2-0'ing Mana, and Shin took down Jeshi, but Jeshi took a map. Oh, look, remember, we had this debate with Asher over the weekend about who is the better Protoss player in China. Is it Firefly? Is it Jeshi? For Jeshi to take a game off of Ragnarok, aka Shin, pretty impressive stuff. But there it is, we have Max Pax versus Shin in the next round. So a lot of really good matches. Like, I can see myself sinking my teeth into Max Pax and Shin, or Bjorn and Classic, Hero and Spirit. Oh my god, Kella, I glossed over it. Showtime versus Geralt going on in a PvP. Kelazar waiting for the winner of that series. Diego. A lot of really good matches. But as you can imagine, because we just covered Oliveira versus Lambo, we're going to be following Oliveira into the next round against Dark. Going from one series into the other. Let us go. I need Coffee, but there's only Lambo and Oliveira. No, Coffee, he's still in the tournament, Slobo. He's still in the tournament. It's okay. Can a normal man stand against the champion race? He is the champ. What do you mean? He is the champion race. Unironically, the normal man. He is the world champion. The reigning world champion. Catching up. Spam this aloe vera to help Oliveira. Ay. Terran OP though. True. I mean, Coffee did beat Wayne. Not wrong. We get to see Cloud9 Gumiho. Hopefully next time we get to feature some Gumiho. Fingers crossed. Next time. But we are going to be setting up here for our next series, for our next best of 3. And game 1 is going to be on Alcyone. It looks like the vetoes are done. Vetoes are done. Then we can sink our teeth into some Oliveira versus Dark. Now this is going to be a really interesting one. I do think a lot of this is going to come down to what kind of maps we end up on as well. Like we had a wild set of vetoes last series to end up on Radizet Station and also on Oceanborn as well. Crazy, Bobby, crazy. So I'm curious as to where we go here. I'm just checking the vetoes. Okay, Dark did veto Oceanborn. Makes sense. I do think that especially against aggressive Terran players, Oceanborn is a very difficult map for Zerg players. We just saw that from Lambo. We've seen that many a time with Dark as well, so he does veto it. Oliveira does veto Radizet Station, so it looks like maybe he was experimenting in the last series. Maybe he was overconfident, but yeah, no Radizet Station this time. Makes sense for Oliveira to veto that. What else we got? No Solaris, no Hecate. Oh, no Equilibrium either. Oh, we're gonna be ending up on Golden Aura later on. Let's go. I want it. Ace match will be on Golden Aura if we get there. Loading on it. We have our next series spawning in the top right hand corner of Alcyone. We have our South Korean Zerg player representing KranKy Z Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the reigning world champion representing KranKy Z Gaming as well. They are teammates. It's the red Terran player. It is Oliveira. I was just blowing my nose. Just preparing myself for the series, and this is going to be an interesting one. Again, we're on Alcyone. Very long rush distance by ground. Does have a pretty secure 3 base and even 4 base setup as well. The last time we saw Oliveira on this map, we saw him go or force into an all-in as Lambo crippled his economy. That was game 1 versus Lambo. But we'll see how things differ here this time. As Oliveira has been quite aggressive in general these past couple of games. We've seen him go or set up for a borderline 2 base all-ins and just be hyper aggressive, very in the face of the Zerg. On a map like Alcyone though, I imagine I imagine we're going to be going into a much more macro based opener here, something more economic. I'm feeling 3rd CC before Starport. I'm feeling it. We'll see. Here we go. You know you're in good shape when you get the veto, sorry, the Terran to veto Razza in ZVT. I mean, in general, you want. I think you just want to veto it. I'm sure if Oliveira didn't, I'm sure Dark would. It's fair. It's fair. I remember it was very similar last season. It was Neo Humanity and God, what was the other? God, it hasn't even been that long. What were the 2 maps last season? Neo Humanity and I think that's the main one that I'm thinking of. Where you would get like player chicken, where like there would be cases. I remember because we'd be in the lobbies with players doing vetoes. There'd be cases where one player wouldn't veto Neo Humanity because they want the other player to do it instead and waste their veto on it. Or I say wait, like just spend their veto on it. And if it doesn't get vetoed, like you get players like, wait, what the hell? Wait, what are you doing right now? What are you? Then you end up in like Clown Fiesta games. No, like that happened more than once. I remember happening in the previous map pool as well. For Pride of Altaris, that's it. For Pride of Altaris, remember it happening for that map. Veto chicken, it is a thing at times. It is a thing. For now, though, we're getting into our openers. We have our third base on the way. Again, Hatch Gas Pool out of Dark. Likewise, we do have a third CC before Starport out of Oliveira. So, very economic openers all around. Did mention that a map like Alkiona, just because of how long it is, how large it is, we don't really expect, I didn't really expect any kind of major aggression this time out of Oliveira. We save that for later on in the series, for later on down the line, especially on Golden Aura. Like, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Kind of looking forward to Golden Aura. If we get there, that's going to be the ace match. The ace match. As there's that add-on swap. This is exactly what we saw in Game 1 versus Lambo, as we're going to be going for a Viking first. Ooh, this time we are going to be throwing down that cloak, I believe. Yeah, I'm curious if this is going to be a fake out and we cancel it and we go Viking into Medevac. To wind it all back, for those of you that weren't here for Game 1 of Oliveira versus Lambo, Oliveira did go for a Hellion drop. He made 8 Hellions. He had 4 Hellions on the left-hand side. He went for a 4 Hellion drop into the main. And the Viking led the charge by hunting down all the Overlords. But we can see that there is no Medevac, and we are committing into Banshees. Okay. And I think this is a very wise choice. Dark is known for his Roach aggression, and as I say that, there is a Roach Warren, and Roaches are on the way. Roach play is very common here for Dark, so opening up Banshee, I think, is just a very wise choice against him. Regardless of the map, regardless of what point you are in the series. There we go, Roaches are moving out across. Now they have been spotted by these Hellions. Oliveira, he is aware, he sees, and he should be preparing back at home. Trying to get some extra hits in. Meanwhile, back at home, Dark is droning, so he's going for, I believe, a 9 Roach push. 8 Roach push. There we go. 8 Roaches. There's that Banshee, and the Banshee is going to force these Roaches to turn back around and to head back home. And again, this is why you want to be opening Roach against Dark. Just because he is so... He's just one to go for these initial Roach pushes here. And Roach openers in the early game. So really good trades here, really good value out of Oliveira. Does force this back. And Oliveira is in a pretty good position from here. He's getting his third CC up and running, getting into the rest of his Raxes. Dark back at home, going to be droning, taking his gases. Working towards 1-1 as well, as we have that double Evo chamber. Now, when it comes to these upgrades, I'm really curious if he's going to get +1 range or melee. Dark, he can commit to Roach Ravager, and he can transition into a later Hive. That is an infestation bit on the way. Gases, all 6 gases even are being taken. This could be Roach Rav into Lurker. But there we go. It is melee. We do have melee, not range on the way. So the Roaches are merely a stepping stone, and they're a stepping stone for Lingbane. Meanwhile, the Banshees get across the map. Good reaction out of Dark. He does spot them. Does save those workers, and he is not going to lose the Queen. Not going to lose any workers either. The drones a little bit mess-rallied, but it's okay. They're getting back to work. So far, good reactions out of Dark. What's important is that Oliveira does keep these Banshees alive, which means he can always dip back in and get some more worker damage as he does that very thing. Very same thing. Oh, doesn't quite get a drone there. But again, very important that Oliveira keeps us alive so we can always go back in and try and get damage done and try and allow this to actually pay for itself. He gets one. Does get one drone. Meanwhile, back at home, he's fully walling off. That's a second factory for double tank production. We have 2 gases being taken. This is not a 3 base all in. There's a 4 CC on the way. So Oliveira, he's just working towards a longer game, towards a later game. So again, very macro oriented here out of Oliveira. Meanwhile, Dark, he's just saturating his bases, getting up to 80 workers. 5th base on the way. Oliveira just vying for map control, clearing up creep. But what's something that's very important to point out, as Dark is stable here on his side of the map, is that he was very greedy and very tech heavy. Like, he got a very fast infestation bit, and this is like a sub 8-minute hive. Very fast hive here from Dark. Very greedy, and again, he has been able to get away with that greed. Oliveira, he didn't hit his typical 7-minute push. He was chilling back at home. Oliveira was taking a more defensive position. And now he hits a minute later. Instead of 7 minutes, he's hitting at 8 minutes. As a result, that's why Dark was able to get away with taking so heavily. Adrenal is in production. Here we go, Oliveira setting up here with 4 tanks. on creep. It's going to take a while here for that to recede. Bailey's going to be waddling on in, but the Bailey's to get focused down. Really good target firing out of Oliveira. Again, only Ling Ravager to defend, but we have more Baileys coming in. Up! The target firing once again, but it looks like we barely should have enough. The concave is real, and we break this position. The tanks go down. Dark will hold at the same time. Banshees are wreaking havoc on the right-hand side. Getting a lot of damage done, actually, on this base. The Queens. We gotta go, Papi. The Queens. No, we're ejecting. The Queens, they peel off to eject, and it looks like this base may go down. Can we transfuse? Up! Will be able to transfuse in time. The hatchery will survive. Oh, will it? The armies are clashing on the left-hand side, and it looks like we do dodge the piles. A bailing speed kicks in. No! And the Banshees did fall, but they did snipe the 5th base. Just barely. They took it down with their lives. The hatchery falls. And this is looking quite close here between these two players. Now, Oliveira, his tank count was reset. Like, there was a lot of potential with that push. Like, shout out to Oliveira, he's doing an amazing job at sniping all those Bailings and committing to this attack, but he was cleaned up. Dark, he's double expanding, taking 2 5th base at the same time. But upon losing all those tanks, Oliveira did lose a lot of momentum, and now he's more or less stuck on his side of the map. Looks like he's rotating towards the right-hand side. Looking to knock down these rocks. Looking to push towards that hatchery. At the same time, Liberators have arrived, but the Queens are in position. Again, Dark, some of the best Queen movement in the game. He's going to shut down the lib. Oh, free tank is going to go down in the center of the map, and Oliveira, he's committing here on the right-hand side. He does deny the gold, but he's been spotted. And Dark is able to keep up here with the Bio Army. Again, because we got a Hive so early on, we already have +3 on the way. We have Vipers as well. And Oliveira's out of position. He is not back at home to defend. He has tanks, yes, but these tanks are looking very vulnerable. We need the Marines. Uh-oh. Ay, ay, ay. Yes, Oliveira, he's zoned away from his bases. These tanks are looking so exposed, and they're going to be going down. Ay, ay, ay. Oliveira, he wasn't home. Wasn't where he needed to be. What is this? 6 tanks going down. The Marine Army does come in from behind, and we will clean up the Ravagers. And who does this favor? That's the question here. This was a pretty interesting trade. That was 5 tanks going down. But Dark, he lost all his Ravagers. He lost every one of his Ravagers, and can Oliveira keep pushing? His economy was left untouched, by the way. Oliveira, he's up to 73 workers. And was that an overextension from Dark? As Oliveira, he can keep on pushing. On the cusp of maxing out. And Ling Bane rotating over towards the right-hand side. Oliveira, he's taking his time. And Dark is remaxing, this time with Ultras. There was a window, there was a big window where Oliveira, he was up like 60 supply. It was insane after that fight. He was up in supply, but yeah, he's a little bit too tentative. He does back off, and Dark is rebuilding his army. Not just that, the Ultras have arrived, and 3-3 is about to kick in. So again, I do think there was a window available for Oliveira, but just a little bit too passive, a little bit too defensive. Ultras have been spotted, Ghosts are on the way. Jump on the right hand side is forced to pick up. And you can see that Dark is having a really hard time splitting up his army. Trying to defend both locations at once. The Ultras, they come in. Once again, the base on the right-hand side is saved, but I can't say the same for this base on the left. Dark instead going for a big counter check. The tanks are on siege! No, the tanks and the Ghosts as well. Big pick off. So much value here for Dark as he busts into the 3rd base, and this time he will deal economic damage. Oliveira completely out of position. And Dark, he takes down the 3rd. He busts into the natural. He takes down a factory. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my god, we're heavily overstimmed. We stimmed our way back home. Oh, Oliveira just losing so much here. He gets 7 workers and a base, but that is not worth it. And Oliveira, he was doing well. He was doing well in this game until this moment here, where now his economy is crippled. He's down to 41 workers. He lost his bases. That was a kill on the CC. He lost his initial ghosts, and yeah, now Oliveira, he is on the back foot. And Dark's just chilling. He's on 5 bases. He's getting a 6th. He's working up towards 86 workers, and Dark, you can just remax. Can remax from this point. Again, Oliveira was doing so well for himself, but this is also the downside of Alcyone, is it is a large map, and if you don't have control of the Zonaga, for example, if you don't have sensor towers in position, it can be difficult to defend multiple locations at once and keep up with the movement of your opponent. That, of course, does go both ways. And Dark was able to take advantage of Oliveira. Now, is there a world, can Oliveira recover? He can if Dark stays at home, but Dark is typically an aggressive player, and he's just regathering energy on his Vipers. There we go, the Vipers just sucking on some buildings in the main base, and once they're topped up, we can push. This is basically what Dark is waiting for those Vipers, and then we can move out. So you have 23 more Bailings on the way, the Ultras as well. Now, Oliveira does have a good ghost count, and you can see that he is recovering, like he's slowly catching up in army supply. But there's no sensor towers here. And if Dark does decide to push here towards the left-hand side, then Oliveira's going to have quite a ways to maneuver, quite a ways to walk. Oh my god, oh my god. It looked like Dark saw the mine. He was trying to avoid the shot, but a big connection on his lings. We deny the gold. Dark pushing through the center, but Oliveira's in position this time. The Vipers! Big overextension for Dark. 6 Vipers go down in the blink of an eye. They get some power bombs, but that's all they get. At the same time, Ultra's going for their own counterattack, but the Ghosts are in position. And just like that, one solid fight, and Oliveira is back in control. He just killed all the Vipers and all the Ultras. But the Bailings! No! The Bailings are going to massive surround. The Planetary falls, 21 SCVs as well, and Oliveira is now all in. I'm getting deja vu to the match against Lambo. Oliveira's all in. He has no economy, but Oliveira, he is up in army supply. We have 54 Bailings on the way. That's a lot of Bailings. If they can connect, Dark can survive. If they don't, then Oliveira, he can snowball out of control. There we go, the Bailings! No! No splits! No splits out of Oliveira. But that was not the best trade for the Bailings. They crashed into Marauders. So we do rotate over towards that 5th base. Lings are coming from behind. The tanks are exposed. Tanks will be going down. The Spore repositions doesn't quite finish though. Dark does lose 2 bases. These drones are looking very exposed, but they will survive. The Bailings. The drones will make it out alive. That's the most important part, actually. Dark maintaining his 82 worker count. Big connections here with the Bailings, and because of Dark's economy, he can rebuild and he can remax. You know, he has a good enough base count here, and again, he kept all these drones. There was like 20 work. Oh god, no! Did I speak too soon? Oh, we're good. Keeps like 20 plus workers alive here, and with that, Oliveira, he's running out of steam. He's running out of an economy. Can he make some magic happen again? Oh, good snipes. God, he takes down like 5 queens. Yeah, 5 queens go down. Okay, good snipes here from Oliveira, but Corruptors have arrived. Yeah, this army is going to be forfeits. Meanwhile, we do see Oliveira pushing in towards the left-hand side. He does find a base. Once again, he gets a hatchery. He doesn't get the drones. The drones will escape. Uh-oh. Oof, oh my god. Mate, this one Widowmine has 57 kills. Oh, it finally goes down. It had almost 60 kills, mate. Ay. Papi. Meanwhile, I believe this is the natural. I thought it was the main base, but we did float the natural over towards that fourth. Oliveira, he is establishing the gold base even. He's still in this. With the power of this gold, Oliveira, he can come back. As he is muling as much as he can. Meanwhile, Dark going to be refining his army, not just with Vipers, but with Infestors as well. The Lings, they unburrow. They're still there. They are still there. As we don't have enough energy for a scan. Again, we have very limited energy available here on these orbitals. Dark is recovering. Lings once again forcing another scan out. To clean off that army, Oliveira going to be lifting up his main, floating it over. To take as his, what is this? I'm losing count. Okay, we go 1, 2, 3, fourth. It's gonna be his fourth. Sorry, his fifth even. Oh, okay. As Dark's army composition is a really interesting one. I believe we only have one Ultra, so mainly Ling Bane, mainly Ling actually, with a handful of Banelings sprinkled in. Here we go. We have a mine drop on the left-hand side. We have the main army pushing towards the gold. Once again, going to bring it down. Likewise, Dark going for his own Link counterattack. He may lose the base. He may be losing drones, but likewise, he's also doing some counter damage across the map, trying to bust into the main. He's going straight for the production. The Lings, they're coming. And there's nothing back at home to defend. Oh, he cannot afford to lose the main base. Drop across the map will be cleaned up. Yeah, the Lings, they're just on top of the racks, on top of the factories, even supply blocking Oliveira. And what's scary here is that Dark has Lings burrowed everywhere in that main. Oh my god. Just being so annoying here, and again, because of the like kind of scrappy economic position, we actually don't have that many scans. Lings are everywhere. Oliveira is cleaning them up finally. And gonna be pushing out. Looks like the mines were cleaned up on the left. No Broodlords. There are Corruptors, but no Broodlords as Lings, they come back into the main. Oliveira, he doesn't care. He's gonna be pushing through the right-hand side. He's up in army supply. He misses the EMP on those Infestors. The Ghost survives. Again, it's all about the spells, the fungal growths, if possible. Ling's going to be hitting the third. Army going down. Depots as well. Dark, he knows that he can't engage with this army, so he's avoiding it, and he's just going for constant run-bys. Constant counterattacks here from Dark instead. Oh, he wants the ghosts. He wants them, papi. As he's going to be pushing at the same time, we do see Oliveira pushing in as well. The choke point is real. A lot of Lings are going to go down. And Oliveira, he does snipe a Viper. Like, desperately, Oliveira, he knows that he has the better army. He wants a fight. He wants to engage. But the Lings turn back around, and Oliveira, he's deep on creep. Uh-oh. Oliveira, this is not where we want to be. The Lings are coming back home. Really good positioning out of Oliveira. And Dark, he is out of gas. He is out of gas at this point. That's why Dark is only making Lings. And it looks like Oliveira, like this game has been a roller coaster ride of emotions. You know, things have been going in favor of Dark, and then Oliveira, and then Dark again, and now it's back in favor of Oliveira. Dark, he needs another gas geyser. Yeah, that's why he doesn't have too many Bailings or too many Ultras. He just doesn't have the gas for it. You can see that Dark, he's starving. Oof. Mind Shot's going to be going up. Oliveira double expanding. Going to be losing the planetary, but GG gets called. It's just too much. Dark knows he cannot keep up, and Oliveira will take game number 1. GG. Oh my god. That moment when Oliveira, when he lost control of his third base and his natural, I thought it was over. I thought it was done then and there, but alas, Oliveira so tenacious, never giving up, aware of course that he can pull apart his opponents, going for constant drop play, harass, pushing, and yeah, really well done there. Really well done out of Oliveira. Able to trade more efficiently than Dark, and of course cripple his economy. We saw towards the end there that Dark, he just didn't have any gas. He just didn't have the resources to really sustain himself and to keep up with Oliveira. GG. GG, well played. Here we go. And the pendulum swinging back and forth, Bobby, back and forth. Catching up. Oh, shout out to Sinistro in the chat. I like that Alcyone is probably one of the most picked maps this season. Is Golden Aura Vibes turned into an extremely good map? Yeah. I do agree. Alcyone, we have seen a lot of really good, games on that map. It's been amazing. Here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hardlead. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Dragon Kaiser Gaming down in this series, looking to fight back. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Terran player, the reigning world champion representing Dragon Kaiser Gaming. It is Oliveira. Yo, a big shout out to Cine. Fala galera. Fala, papi, fala. Obrigado. Thank you for tuning in. For those who don't know, Sinistro in the chat, there's a reason why he has a VIP badge, and he is el head hancho, papi, el padrino. He is the head admin of ESL. Of course, he puts in a lot of work when it comes to organizing events, both online and offline, and without Sinistro, StarCraft would be in a worse place. So thank you, papi. Thank you so much, Sinistro, for all the work that you do for StarCraft, for all the events that you work on. Gracias, papi, gracias. Obrigado. As we're getting into our games. As we're getting into game number 2. Just catching up. Just gonna be catching up. El Paquito in the chat as well. Get some sleep, papi. Anda dormir. Anda mimir, papi. So far, racks expand here from Oliveira. Likewise, hatch gas pull out of Dark, standard openers all around as we load into Hardlead. Talking about the maps a little bit, we were talking about how Alcyone was, a longer rush distance and a very large map with different ways to play, of course, as Sinistro was pointing out. Here on Hardlead, it's another interesting one. Very short rush distance by ground. We have seen a lot of aggressive styles and a lot of all-ins. Thinking of Dark's nature, I wouldn't be surprised if he does go for a more committed Roach aggression. If you remember in game 1, he did open Roaches, but Dark was very greedy. He teched up into Hive, and he rushed into Ultras, or Ling Bane into Ultra Viper. Here on this map, I wouldn't be surprised if he does commit a little bit harder to Roach play, if he heads towards a 1-1 Roach timing with range this time, especially upon knocking down these rocks. You can actually have quite an attack at the third or even towards the natural. My eyes are on Dark here. And should they be? Because the reality is that Oliveira has been wild today. We've been seeing economic openers like the previous game, but we've also been seeing some very aggressive openers with 1-1-1s, with 2 base all-ins. And there it is, a 1-1-1 out of Oliveira. In my mind, this makes plenty of sense. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Banshee opener here from Oliveira, but we'll see. Again, Oliveira, he delays his 3rd CC in favor of a faster starport. So a very aggressive opener here from our Terran player. And we'll see how aggressive it gets as the Ling gets in and did not scout the starport. Whew. that was close, Papi. That was close. Sinistro is el jefe. El jefe de ESL. My Spanish is correct. Spanish is correct. Sinistro is from Latin America. Not quite Spanish, but yeah, close enough. Close. It's fine. It's okay. It's all good. But yes, I like it. El jefe. See. As it is going to be a 1-1-1 Banshee opener, as I mentioned before. I do really like Banshee openers in general against Dark, and I was praising Oliveira for going 3cc Banshee in game number 1. Here in game 2, he's going straight up Banshee as the Hellions they dive in. Oh my god, the boys are being pulled, and how many drones are going to go down? It looks like not too many. 5 workers. That could have been so much worse, as Oliveira just committed to the dive. 4 Hellions for 5 drones. Again, it could have been worse. I do kind of favor Dark in this position, as he's going to be able to resaturate his bases. Behind this is not all in. We do have a 3rd CC on the low ground. But again, a very aggressive opener nonetheless. And there is a lot of pressure on Oliveira to kill workers, because, hey, he's delaying his own economy in favor of doing this. He dives in once again. This feels very desperate out of Oliveira. He gets a scout off. He will get maybe 1 extra drone. Gets 1 drone for 2 Hellions. Ay. He does drag the Queens out of position. And the Banshee gets in. And the Banshee will make up for those Hellions. 5 workers going down. We initiate the cloak. We head into the natural. No Spore. Oliveira popping off Papi. Dark. He was not expecting Banshees. We have plenty of detection on the way, but so many drones are going down. A little bit of missed target firing there, though, on Queens instead of drones. 9 workers fall. 10 workers even. 11. 10. Really good damage done here by the Banshee, and that does make up for the Hellions, of course. 10 workers going down, and we're not done because we have a 2nd Banshee moving out. Now, this 2nd Banshee doesn't have as much potential as the first. You know, the jig is up, and now we have spores everywhere. Now we have Queens being spread out. Dark, he's mentally prepared and physically prepared for the Banshees, as they slip into the main. Oh, they get another drone. Another 2. Oh my, can we get a 3rd? 2 workers, not too bad, but oh, the Banshee barely will escape. And behind this, Oliveira's expanding, and yeah, Dark, he's got a 10 worker lead, soon to be extending that lead, but I'm sure Oliveira's content with the damage that he dealt, especially since Oliveira did keep both Banshees alive. Returns back home, and he will top them up. And this is what I expected out of Dark. Remember at the start of the game, we were talking about how on hard lead you can be so much more aggressive and you can be all in, and I was talking about how this is a really good map to go for a 1-1 roach timing, and there it is. We have +1 range this time on the way for Dark. 1-1 is on the way for the Roach Ravager, which means Dark is going to be droning up to around 3-way saturation. We have 69 drones. Nice. And I believe Dark is going to be cutting workers here at 69, and he's going to be making nothing but roaches. He's going to be looking to lay siege upon this 3rd base. It's going to be a tough hold here for Oliveira. But Dark, he throws down an infestation pit. Never mind. Okay, Dark is not going for a 3-way all-in. He can hit a timing with 1-1, that is true, but Dark is already working on the next step. So he's transitioning out of this. Gonna be heading towards infestors, towards hive tech, towards maybe even lunkers. So this infestation bit is telling. Despite that, Dark is still focusing on roach production, but he's squeezing in a couple of drones here and there. Oliveira with some decent Sim City, a good tank spread as well. But his decent's going to be good enough, because Dark is focusing on his army. Ravagers are on the way. And this roach timing, it's gonna hit like a truck. 2-2 now starting up. Dark does see this. He does have a changeling in the midst of the army. We now have a 4th tank getting ready. Additional tanks on the way. There it is, 4 CC as well. And Dark is still just droning. Oh my god. The Banshee, calm down. As one Banshee finally falls for 6 drones. Well worth it. Well worth it for Oliveira. As he does turn back around, he does come back home. And again, Dark is working on that hive we were talking about because of the infestation pit. Dark is about to max out, but he's still droning, soon to be working on a 5th base. If I'm to be a little bit critical of Dark, that is, the 5th is very late. I do think he could have expanded quite some time ago. But his creep is not ideal here because the Queens have been busy with the Banshees. That may be why he doesn't feel safe enough to go for a 5th base. As Dark has maxed out, Oliveira's pushing. He gets caught on siege. The tanks are exposed. 1, 2, 3 tanks going to be going down. Rough start to the fight here for Oliveira. As Dark collapses in this army, he's going to clean it all up. All the tanks at least. The Marines do what they can, but yeah, this was not the fight to take. Again, that was just a really rough start to the fight there. A really rough engagement. So many tanks went down before the fight even started. And Dark, he can keep on pushing. Yeah, the deepers are falling. There are 2 tanks behind this. But the factory's exposed. And typically a pure Ravager army isn't ideal, but yeah, we do have enough momentum regardless. We have reinforcements on the way. Dark, he's got a lot of momentum going for him, and he's gonna try to take advantage of that. Knocks down the Rooks. He's pushing towards the 3rd. Oliveira, he's going for a Hail Mary play. He's sending a massive Doom Drop across the map. There's potential, but Dark is here, and Dark is pushing. Here we go. He busts into the 3rd base. Tanks going to be going down one after the other. There's nothing to protect them. At the same time, Oliveira going for that massive Doom Drop. He takes down the Hive. We're going for a base trade, but Dark, he's already getting on top of the army. He takes down every single tank. The wall is not a wall. As Oliveira, he dives into the natural. He gets the Roach Warren. He is getting damage done. But it's still a numbers game. And Dark, he's just looking to bust into the main base, camp the production. Oh my gosh. This shop is getting a lot done. Like, unironically, we have a lot of overlords going down. Dark getting supply block for a moment there. A lot of drones are falling as well. Dark, though, in the main base. On top of those Raxes, on top of the factories. The Raxes, they're falling. No. Factory goes down as well. Oliveira going for the Great Migration out of his main base. The Vipers, they do get some power bombs off. Hatchery is going to fall. But Dark, he's still far ahead in army supply. We have an Ultra on the way. We have no answer for it. We have Marines. Oh, God. As the boys are being pulled, the Ultra goes down. This is a good trade for Oliveira. Don't get me wrong. He's trading very well, and Dark is running out of steam. Remember, he did lose the Ultra Cavern. Sorry, he lost the Roach Warren, and the Ultra Cavern and the Spawning Pool are exposed. For Oliveira, he's racing back home. +3 attack is about to finish, by the way. It's still in the main. Dark, he's down to 1 mining base. Oliveira, he's coming back. And he can fight this. We have more SCVs going down. Oliveira, he's also on 1 base, soon to be 2 base mining. Technically, Oliveira does have the better economy. But Dark has a larger army. And even though Roach Ravager isn't very efficient, like, there's no tanks. There's no tanks, there's no ghosts, there's nothing to really support the Marines. There's no Marauders. He scans, he sees the last mining base of Dark. Oliveira did so well, he sniped every other hatchery. But Dark is double expanding, he's resaturating those bases. Oh no, don't burn down! The orbital is on fire. And Raxes are exposed as well. A factory goes down. Oliveira fighting his heart out, and hey, he's gonna get a couple of units. Oh my god! Barely avoids his vials. Near, calm down, Papi. Steams on through, dodges the bullets. And I would say that Oliveira, he is recovering. He's looking decent here on his 2-base economy, but Dark, he should be resaturating his bases and taking his gases. Still has his spawning pool and his Ultra Cavern. The game will settle from here. Oh, can we get the Viper? Up! We will get the Viper. Big pickoff, but this Medivac is going to fall. There's no escape. No! There's no escape. The jump for a Viper. Was that worth it? I think so. Dark, he doesn't have a lair. Fun fact. No lair, no hive. He cannot replace that Viper. Here we go. Dark pushing over towards the left-hand side. Oliveira sending out a double drop. Uh-oh. Which means he has the bare minimum to defend. And this CC is going to fall. The SCVs are exposed as well. Likewise, we have roaches to defend. And Dark, he's in position. Oliveira going to try to force his way through. Gets a couple of roaches. More roaches are falling. A good trade here from Oliveira, but he needs to get on top of the bases. He needs to get on top of the economy. The drones are being pulled away. And the workers will escape. Again, really good movement out of Dark. Able to avert disaster. And Dark is still in control. This was close though. CC goes down. Oliveira down to 1 mining base, barely a mining base. GG gets called, and Dark will take game number 2. We're going to the ace match. We are going the distance. Oh. GG, well played. And yeah, if only Oliveira had known about top right. Remember, when Oliveira went for the quote-unquote base trade, he turned around after he killed every hatchery. He killed the main, the natural, the third, and the fourth. He killed 4 bases, and which was impressive. But he didn't know about the 5th, which is why he scanned earlier. And if he had known about it, then maybe he would have gone in that direction. Maybe he would have taken down that base before turning back around, and we could have seen a different game. It's possible. It is possible. Regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations to Dark. And we at least get a game 3. We're going the distance. We're going all the way to Golden Aura. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. Este Paquito. I'm fine, Papi. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Sounds correct to me. Always a pleasure, mate. But there isn't a tournament without players and casters. True, true, true. So humble, Papi. So humble. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's a team effort. It's a team effort. We all come together to make the dream a reality. And here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing KranKy Z Gaming, tying up the series 1-1 in that last game. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Chinese Terran, the reigning world champion, representing KranKy Z Gaming as well. As this is a team kill, it is Oliveira. I said this before, I'll say it again. I just love that Oliveira is in shape, that he is in form again. Oliveira, he peaked very, very hard as... Oh, we have a pool first. But he did peak quite hard at the start of the year, of course, becoming the world champion. Even after that, he was the MVP of WTL of the first season of WTL, or the last season of the year, of last year of WTL. Did look so damn good. And then he kind of dropped off a little bit, you know, he took a couple of months off. He, you know, the speculation that he burned out a little bit after how much time and effort he put into Katowice. But now he's back. He's back with a vengeance just in time for ESL Masters Winter. just in time for DreamHack Atlanta. And hey, he's forcing Dark to the ace match, not something that just any Terran player can do. And yeah, this was interesting. This was a pull first. It's going to be a pull into hatchery into a third. Okay. So we're going for a gasless opener. A different variation of gasless opener, to be fair. But this is something that Dark does very often on Golden Aura. Winding it back, Dark, he's done this on Golden Aura. He's done it on Radisson Station, of course, as well. Lings are moving out. So this is a bit of a PSA if you're in the chat. Be forewarned. This is an opener. This is a build that you can only do on a map like Golden Aura just because of how close together all these bases are, just because of how narrow these choke points are as well. You can get away with defending with only queens, with the bare minimum of Lings. Now, it was a pull first, so the Lings are being aggressive. Oliveira, he's back at home with the Reaper, and he will protect that CC. Up! I spoke too soon! Lings, they get into the main base, boys are being pulled, and the SCV does go down. The CC will be delayed by a couple of seconds, and even some more lost mine time in the main. The Marine did go down as well, and can we get another SCV? Not quite. As the Lings are being cleaned up, and Oliveira is going for a 3cc opener, which has been spotted by the Lings of Dark. So Dark knows that Oliveira is being economic, and again, Oliveira knows about the pull first into a third base. Again, this is really greedy out of Dark, just because we have very late link speed, and we're just focusing on mineral saturation, on droning. I talk about this all the time, but this is the same opener that Dark would do on Neo Humanity in the previous map pool, just because of the map layout. Behind this, yo, we casting Oliveira, we casting Cure. We're going for a add-on swap here into Cyclones. Okay. Do love to see it. Again, Cure has been very fond of Cyclone openers. This doesn't mean we're going to be seeing mech, but we do have Cyclones in the early game for map control to shut down Overlords and to maintain our position. Oh my god, how greedy are we being? We went 3cc, by the way, 3cc into Cyclones into double eBay. My god. Very fast upgrades on the way. The Rax is floating on over to shut down this Overlord. And again, Dark is just droning. And Oliveira is aware of that. He's aware that Dark shouldn't really be making too many units at all because of his opener. So Oliveira, he is safe to just disrupt his own production here. It does float back home. There it is, additional Raxes on the way. Cyclones are moving out. And because it's gasless, no Ling speed. Usually Lings completely shut down Cyclones. Without Lings, these Cyclones, they do have quite a bit of a presence here in the early game. They can threaten the queens, they can threaten the roaches. As Oliveira, he's just checking the gold, making sure everything is as it should be. And we're getting into our openers, into our builds. Again, Oliveira just vying for map control here. He's not committing. Important to note, he actually hasn't been scanning either. He's been muling quite heavily back at home. I think because of the opener, he's just been muling as much as he can. Yeah, 1-1, about to kick in. We don't even have the Evo chambers. This is how fast these eBays were from Oliveira. To go 3cc into double eBay, like, immediately, before the CC was even done. So he will have quite an upgrade advantage. Third base now being taken. Yes, who needs it? True, Bobby, true. Oh, I see Kalassi in the chat. Cyclone's OP, exactly. They're crazy. How dare he make a Cyclone? It has to be OP. Not wrong. As Dark is actually going to be quite greedy himself. So, I mean, he's been greedy this entire time, to be fair. Now he's getting into all 6 gases, and he did open up roaches. Yes, he's working on range. But he's taking up immediately into an infestation pit and a Hydra Den. This is to get into lurkers, into hive tech, into lurker play. So again, very greedy and very tech-heavy style here from Dark. It means that Dark isn't going to be active anytime soon. We have the Reaper slipping into the main base, and he does not scout. And there's that Lurker Den. There's that Lunker Den that we were talking about. Again, Dark just cutting so many corners, rushing into Lurkers. And he's going to get away with it because Oliveira is also being greedy and chilling back at home. Like, he's not going to be pushing anytime soon. He's still working on 2-2. His tank count is still building up. Now, who's this going to favor in the end? Paquito, papi, big shout to Paco Mike in the chat, gifting a sub to the community. 5 subs even to Sinistro, to I like his stone, his stone 1, Frost, and many others. Phil, Yatsune, gracias, papi, gracias. Big shout. Sorry, I was just struggling to read names. I was I was caught off guard. Big shout to Paco Mike. For those who maybe aren't familiar with the name, and for those of you that are familiar, if you know, you know. Shout out to you. Paco Mike, he is the best Protoss player in all of Mexico, arguably the best Protoss in Latino America. Was at a time an active pro gamer. Nowadays, you know, Paco Mike, he's just been playing the game for fun. He's just been chilling, calming things down, taking a break. But we appreciate you, Paquito. We appreciate you. Always, always. As we have now hit the field, but Lurkers are out. Like, this is what's crazy. We're at the 8-minute mark. We already have Lurkers. We already have a Hive. Lurker upgrades are on the way. Dark just turtling on up here. Already on or nearing 80 workers at this point. And Oliveira's pushing. And this is a very strong push, don't get me wrong. But I don't think Oliveira has seen the Lurkers yet. Now he has. He sees the Lunker on the edge of the creep. He's aware. And can he break Dark? It all comes down to this push. We're hitting with 2-2, by the way. Big upgrades. The Vipers have arrived. We can abduct, and we do take down the tanks. If it wasn't for the Hive, if it wasn't for the Vipers, then this would be a scary push from Oliveira, but he loses 2 tanks immediately. 3-3 starts up. Oliveira, he's already thinking about that next step. Oliveira, he is 8-raxing, by the way. Oliveira's going for a 3-base all-in. He's pushing on forward, collapsing this army, but the blinding clouds and the Lurkers, they melt. They just chew through this. There's no way. The Lurkers, they just have their way with this army. Oliveira has to back off. He cannot close that distance. And Dark, he is miles ahead at this point. He's 4CC now starts on location. Fun fact, this 4th started after Oliveira had realized that he couldn't kill his opponent. This was not the initial plan. This was not like the initial plan here for Oliveira's build. Now we have a Ghost Company on the way. This is supposed to be a strong timing with 2-2. This is supposed to kill at least the base. And you can see Oliveira plummet in supply. Down 20 workers. This was supposed to be a 3-base all-in out of Oliveira, and did fall on its face. Now the Lurkers are getting across the map. There is 1 tank, but we have the Viper. We have the Viper, and we should be looking for that abduction. Tank goes down. 4th base under threat. Dark is going to be bleeding out a couple of Lurkers here. He's going to get surrounded. Big engage here by Oliveira. He completely surrounds the army, and it's still not enough. Oh my god. I mean, Oliveira didn't have enough either. He just didn't have a large enough army. It was a good surround. It was a good position, but could not break the Lunkers, papi. Couldn't break them. Now, we do have a tank. A Viper is out of energy, so Darky can't quite push in, but we have Lurkers on the right-hand side. They're everywhere, papi. The Lunkers. As we have limited scans, that's a problem. We don't have that many scans to make use of. These Lurkers, they take down more SCVs. Finally, they will fall. Behind this, the Vipers, they've just been regathering all that energy. We're getting into Ling Hydra. Another lurker goes down. Dark being a little bit wasteful at times. The lurker getting within range of the mineral line. Gonna be forcing another scan as Dark rotates over towards that third base. Big snipes going up. The abductions on the ghost even. Oh, big power bomb as well on them. Oh my god, doing so much damage to the Metamax. Dark is gonna be losing everything. The ghost, they pop off. They snipe every single Hydra and lurker. And Dark, has he been too wasteful? Has he been throwing away too much? Because now that we have ghosts, Oliveira has a more efficient army. As I say that, we still have lurkers everywhere. We're still being so annoying. But is this worth it? 2 more lurkers go down. Dark, he's been quite wasteful here. He's on 80 workers. He's almost on 90. He can replace this, but Oliveira, he's not too far behind in that worker count. The Hydras do push in. They take down the tank. Now, this was Dark's game to lose, but now Oliveira, he's kind of tied things up. We could do with a little bit better saturation at this third base. We should be main-arting our SCVs over, and it's going to be a really big challenge here for Oliveira to expand and take a 5th. The 5th base is going to be difficult. We already have creep on the left-hand side. We have a borrowed lurker here on the right. Again, subpar saturation here from Oliveira. Hopefully he notices soon. Hopefully he does rotate over, as Dark is maxing out. And with Dark's economy, he can remax after this. As once again, we're going to be fanning out lurkers all over the place. Oh my god, big snipes! Oliveira, he takes down the lurkers. He's pushing through the center of the map, and Dark, does he have enough to hold? Even with these lurkers, even with the Vipers, there are so many ghosts. And I don't think there's enough Ling Bane. Big EMP. Yeah, we can collapse on this army. Banelings, they connect. Good connections. But there's not enough to protect the lurkers. Oliveira, he's snowballing out of control. He breaks through, gets on top of the bases, and Dark doesn't have much left. Good connections. No splits. Oliveira, he wasn't looking. His attention was elsewhere. 33 SCVs go down. Big harass across the map. Dark, he's fighting back. If it wasn't for those Banelings, Dark would be in a lot of trouble right now, but Oliveira, he's now running out of steam. He's running out of army. Oh, sorry, Oliveira's running out of steam. He's running out of army. Dark, he's remaxing with more Lings. He's harassing across the map. 37 SCVs go down, and Oliveira's all in. Our Terran player is completely all in. Dark, he has the gold. As Oliveira sees it, and he is sending his reinforcements in that direction. Liberators on the fringe bases. Amidst all this chaos, Oliveira, he's fighting a lot of damage. He is trading well. We can see Dark likewise going to be rotating over as well towards that gold. Yeah, the workers are evacuated. Dark going for a big counterattack instead. Getting into the middle of the SCVs! Getting into the mineral line. 11 SCVs go down. The gold base will fall, but Dark does save most of his drones. Meanwhile, Dark, he's got lurkers on the way. And lurkers are saving grace. Because I'm sure Oliveira wants to scan. I mean, sorry, I'm sure he wants the mule and he doesn't want to scan. Speaking of, 2 scans, 1 for each lurker. More lurker harass coming in. It's just non-stop here for Dark. But Oliveira, he's up in army supply. Dark, he may have lurkers, but they're being used to harass and not being used to defend back at home. A Ling run by does get into the mineral line, but can Oliveira be stopped? full mining base towards the right. Once again, Ducky saves his drones. He's so good at that. I mean, it's happened a couple of times this series, where immediately Dark does evacuate. Now the boys are being pulled. More SCVs going down. I do think that Oliveira can push into the natural though, as he does come across the base. The drones are being saved, but where can they go? There's no safe place for them. As Oliveira's pushing towards the natural, there are Banelings. There are Banelings in position. Decent spread here from Oliveira. He takes them down. And it looks like Oliveira, he has too much. He has finally done it. Dark, he may be in the main base with his lurkers, but he's losing everything else. Everything is on fire. Zero mining here for Dark. He has nothing left. I mean, the lurkers, they're putting in some work, don't get me wrong. But there's nothing waiting here in the main base. There's nothing left in the main. 2 Hydras are in production. Oliveira, he's down to 0 SCVs, but he keeps the orbitals alive. And Oliveira doesn't push up into the main. He's coming back home. The snipes. Up. Oh my god. He is coming back home, and we have plenty of scans available. Plenty of scans. Yeah, we take down the lurker here outside the natural, take down the lurker at the third, and there's 1 lurker left. And that's all she wrote. That's everything. When it comes to army units, we have 1 infestor, we have 4 lurkers in production, but again, we have plenty of scans available. Oh, as we just mule. Uh-oh. Did just mule, so we have to be careful. Go base is cancelled. Dark gonna be expanding here at his triangular 3rd location. The drones are still coming back. No, we did such a great job keeping them alive. Okay, we do pull back just in time. Drones are falling. We can see Dark trying to muster up an army. He's taking a defensive position here. We have 1 infestor for fungals. We have 5 lurkers. Scan does reveal the base. Spores are in position. I would love to see like hold position micro here from Dark. Oh yeah, he scans. Oliveira, he sees the lurkers. He's aware of where they are. Liberator goes down. Good fungal. And Oliveira, he's diving in. And so does Dark. The tanks are going to be going down. This is not the best fight from Oliveira. He had so much momentum in this, but he's going to be losing some of his ghosts. Oh, the lurkers. They do go ham, and Oliveira, he's losing his advantage, but yeah, here comes an army from behind. GG gets called. Oliveira, he has too much, and he will take the series 2-1, eliminating Dark from the tournament. GG. GG, well played. Oliveira will come out on top. He will take the best of 3. Congratulations to Oliveira. And really impressive. Dark initially had a massive advantage. Remember, Oliveira went for a 3-base all-in. He went for an 8 racks, and it failed. Oliveira's build failed. But after that, to wind it back, if you remember, after Dark shut down the army, he went for a counterattack with his lurkers, and he was being too wasteful. We were a little bit critical of it at the time, but Dark, he was throwing away so many lurkers, and he had an economy, but he was never able to build